morning. Good morning, everybody. How are you? Welcome to the show at Rise Up Show with me, your host, the Queen Bee, Dani. How are you feeling? As we chat this morning to the devilishly handsome, the fabulously wonderful, the incredibly knowledgeable Mr. Fidel Hill, the modern man. Good morning. Jodie Sol, good morning. Fab Naredi, good morning. Elise Woodbine, good morning. The devilishly handsome Ian Dixon, good morning, sir.
Shut up, for f***'s sake. Jesus.
The fantastic Lizzie Jackson Barrett, good morning. Josephine Sandra, everybody, good morning.
Excited face. You knew it was going to be like this if I was coming on here today, because it's Be Inspired Week. Literally all the feels. I am so excited. It's unbelievable. Let's take a little bit of a breath, because otherwise I will sound like helium the whole way through this show. If you are watching with us, please say hello in the comments so we know you are here. Now, you know, they're coming through. First across, as Dani would say, is the beautiful Pixie. Good morning, Pixie. How are you? Check me out. I'm actually getting a little bit tech savvy, or tech sassy, as we could call it. I'm Jojo Smith, Business Development Manager. God, I did that nearly 20 years ago. Business Development and Branding Fairy Godmother. I am a little bit excited because, as I have mentioned, it is Be Inspired Week. Hence the reason why I am guest hosting today, because our fabulous Queen Bee, Dani, is literally sorting her shizzle this week. And as you can imagine, there is loads of stuff going on so that we can bring you the absolute best Be Inspired ever. Now, I've always wanted to do this because Ant and Dec get to do this. Look at this. Look at this. This is a link to get your Be Inspired tickets. If you have not got your ticket, you need to get a ticket to get on the fun bus. It's not just a fun bus, it's an absolutely awesome learning experience. It's emotional, there'll be highs. There won't be lows as such, but there'll be lows because you'll look and you'll find things, and you'll find things out, and you'll find direction in things that maybe have caused you lows in the past. So we've got loads of others on here. We've got another one of our speakers, one of my bee besties, Louisa, sending you loads of love today, babe, because I know you've got a bit of a day today, so loads of love to you, Lou. We have got loads of people in. Now, as Dani has been doing, she has been bringing some of the Be Inspired speakers for a little bit of a taster session, and today's no different. We have got one for you today as well. I do just want to put a shout out there to say, give us a little bit of positivity in the comments. Let us know what the weather is like by you, because for me here, it's Scotcho. It's absolutely fantastic where I am today. So it's definitely put a spring in my step. Not that I need much to put a spring in my step, because you know what I'm like. We've got a Facebook user. Who are you? I have my tickets. Cannot wait. See you there. I will see you there. I've started packing. I have. Right. I want to bring on the fabulous. Now, I have never met Dicty either online or in real life, but I'm very excited to see her now because I have seen her a lot on Dani's show. So Dicty will be one of the speakers, and Dicty is a grief coach. So I'm going to bring Dicty on. Dicty, how excited are you for this week?
Oh, Jojo, your energy is very infectious, and it's definitely given me a spring this morning. It's very lovely to meet you, darling. Hello.
Big hugs. Big hugs. Virtual hugs. Dicty, as a fellow speaker, how are you feeling this week?
I'm feeling very, very calm about it all, which is worrying me actually. Because I'm like, okay, surely I should be a bit more kind of on edge, worried. But I think I'm really excited. I know it's going to be out of our comfort zones for so many of us, but I just think I've waited such a long time, because we've been working with Dani for about a year, waiting to give this talk, and the time's finally arrived.
I know. It's. I mean, I'm on the second cohort, so I've not been waiting as long as you. But I will say that it was a bit of a dream of mine. It was a bit of a wish that I made. And for it to be coming to fruition, Dani says that it's a bit like, and a lot of people say, being inspired is like being on a roller coaster. I think it's like being on the waltzers, because you're spinning, you're spinning lots of other plates, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, this is amazing. Then you're like, oh God, I feel a bit sick. Then you're like, because it is a complete expanse of emotions, isn't it? Because you go through your story, you build your story, you relive some parts of your story, but we've all, something that I've found from everybody that is on the speaker cohort is everybody has a mission, don't they? Everybody has got a super message to share, and it's just something really, really special. So just for those, I mean, don't give too much away, because obviously we want people to actually come to be inspired and sort of get all of that magic from everybody. But just give us a little taster of what you do, and maybe just a teeny tiny little bit of what you'll be talking about.
Yeah, no, I'd be happy to do that, and I promise not to give too much away. But before I do that, I would just like to kind of expand on that point that you've just made about just how many incredible ladies and gents we've got with us. But I mean, the really incredible thing about this event is that it really does highlight how unique we all are and the missions that we all have if we allow ourselves to step into it. And I think that is really a part of what I'm going to be sharing. Many people know that my work is about helping transformation, and especially helping people to transform and walk through that process when we face any type of grief in our life. And that can be in so many different guises, can't it? And
can I just because I remember seeing you a while ago, and when you say that about grief, I really want to home in that grief doesn't just mean the loss of a person, because when I lost my marriage, when I walked away from a job, the grief element in both of those situations, and it was only because I'd done some work and I realised it was one of the elements that comes along, was I able to recognise it. So I just want to home in that that's not, and I know that's where you were going, but it was a big awakening for me. When I heard you talk about it on the first time on one of Dani's shows, I was like, finally, there's somebody here to have this conversation.
I've got goosebumps here when you say that. Thank you, because that's a really huge part of my mission, I feel, because so many of us, and it's all labels, isn't it? But really, like, the emotion we feel when something changes in our life is massive. Huge. And as human beings, we need to honor that. We really need to honor that. And once we acknowledge and honor us, so much more can open up. But I think, and I think for me, this has been an extraordinarily personal journey as well, because what I was going to share has changed over the past year. It's been a huge year for everyone on the planet. And how many times can we say that? Like, for every single person on the planet, we've experienced so much in the last 12 months. And I think in order to kind of move through this, we need to acknowledge so much. So I think what I'm going to be sharing is just a deeper understanding of what it is we may be going through and where it may be holding us back as well, because that's really important. Because a big part of what Dani does is, sabotage. Like, we need to. I'm just going to turn around. Oh, I'm looking after my sister's puppy today.
How exciting!
I don't know what you're doing.
How exciting! I wasn't sure if you'd got a teeny human, but now that I know you've got a teeny puppy, I'm even more excited.
I'm even more scared. But this is a transformation for me. Learning. I've got 2 boys to look after now. No, but I think I'm really excited about being on stage, and I just want to give people hope, because we have experienced a lot of darkness this year, many, many moments of darkness, and many of us feel pressure that we just need to not acknowledge it or not show people. And it's in our vulnerability, it's in our grief that we can really kind of step into our missions. I'm going to stop. I don't want to say too much now.
I get all the feels because I'm genuinely really excited. I'm blessed to be in the cohort that I'm in. But one of the reasons I joined the fun bus or the Dani bus was because I couldn't do it the first time. And I watched all you guys go up, and I felt like I actually sent Dani a message saying, I feel like I'm waving everybody off and I've been left at the school on my own on the school trip. And Dani went, you'll be there, you're going to get there. And I knew that I would. And now, in a sense, I mean, I didn't organise this global pandemic in order that I could still be on the fun bus with you lot. But I'm like, that happened. And now I get to share that with you guys as well. I just feel I'm so grateful.
No, I'd really like to say as well, like the online space is very, very noisy at the moment. And there's lots of different summits and lots of different speakers and so much that's kind of thrown together and out there. But the whole event feels so very unique and special. And, you know, for those of you who aren't privy to what goes on backstage, I just want to give Dani a massive shout out here because 100%. She has literally poured her heart and soul into this. And every single speaker there has gone on an incredible journey just to be on that stage, just in life generally. Yeah. But to be able to bring it together and help people resonate with what they've gone through. I know every single speaker is going to speak to anyone who buys a ticket. But bigger than that, like it's going to support the foundation as well. So you need to buy your tickets.
You need to buy your tickets because I am living proof that this does change your life. And that's not a sell in a sense of, you know, we're all on this and we all just want to sell more tickets for the sake of it. It's a genuine, it's an opportunity. And when opportunity comes your way, take it. Because there are so many things that we haven't spent money on this year. It is an investment. It is an investment in yourself because I've been able, by being on Be Inspired, I've been able to create my workshops. You know, there's been so many different things that I've been able to create from it. But knowing the people that are on there, I'm bringing my notepad and pen because there's people that I want to listen to that I know will give me the juice, will give me learning techniques. And we haven't even talked about the free stuff. Do you know? Because I know, for all of you that don't know, if you have got a ticket for Be Inspired, there is a members area and every single speaker has got freebies going in that area. Now, these may be tools, these may be learning aids. These are all different things that will be in the free members area. So that alone, oh my goodness, that's it, I'm gone. I've lost it.
Creating havoc in the background.
How cute is he? Buy a ticket.
He's going to be watching. He's going to be watching. Jojo is going to be watching you. I'm sorry. So I would say wholeheartedly for £89 plus VAT, which works out about £106. It is nothing in comparison to what you will get. That works out for around about, I think somebody worked out, it's about £5 a speaker. You know, some of these people charge hundreds of pounds per hour. So really, for £5 per speaker, you can watch it at any time. Absolutely amazing. I just want to bring this up, Pixie, before I bring on, because we've got another guest on today's show as well. I just want to bring on this comment from Pixie. 1 second. There we go. Oh, we'll have to peep over the top. So Pixie's saying, I think it can be so many types of loss. I know it sounds bonkers, but I felt it when my car got stolen last week, although I think grief was largely about what I'd been through to get where I am and the stability and freedom I feel I've lost, and not just the car itself. 100% Pixie, I get that. You worked hard for that. Yeah, no, absolutely. And it's when we acknowledge those things, when we acknowledge the deeper feelings, because yes, on the surface of it, your car was stolen, but what did it mean? Like, what in the wider scheme of things for you? And once we are able to step into that, we can truly kind of open up in a way that we'd never have imagined as well, because through our pain, we find purpose. We do.
I have a saying there that your past pumpkins are your potential, and it really is. It's definitely for what's happened, like for me. But I find with grief, once you acknowledge it, you can adapt. to deal with it. And that for me is, it's the exception, it's the acknowledgement, and then it's the adapting to, because your life will change because you've lost something. So then you have to learn to adapt to it. But we could literally, and I'm worried that we'll start to let bits and pieces out. So what I'm going to do is, we have got another guest on today's show. So, Dixie, you will have a link, won't you, for tickets if people want to buy tickets from your link? So,
I don't have an affiliate link because I want any ticket sales to go straight to the foundation as well. So just use Dani's link. I'm going to post it on my page again. But please buy your ticket. It's going to be an incredible event. It's a really heart-led event, and there's not enough of that in this world. So come and support us. Come and hear me and everyone else talk. And Jojo, thank you for having me on. It's lovely to meet you, and I can't wait to meet you in person.
I'm very excited. And can I just say, I love that you're wearing pink today. Oh no, I'm in black. I do have my branding on it, but I'm not. I'm in black. Right. Dixie, I will probably get to speak and maybe see you in a couple of days.
All right, my darling. Thank you everyone for watching. Bye-bye.
Bye, Dixie. Bye. So everybody this week has had a chance to see a lot of these speakers that are coming on, and I do believe there's a little bit of a showcase tomorrow, maybe with lots of us maybe dipping in. I'm not sure if that's still happening, but if it is, you definitely want to catch the show tomorrow. So getting on with today's show, we do have another guest. We have a fabulous guest that Dani has lined up for you, but I just want to put something out there. I like to always, whenever I'm going to do this show, I do like to look and see sort of what the relevant national days are and things like that, because some of them can be absolutely bonkers. Today's national day, get ready for this because I love this, it's Cheesy Chip Day. It's Cheesy Chip Day. I'm a huge advocate for cheesy chips. So I'm putting it out there, I'm giving permission. If anybody wants chips today, it's cheesy chips are the way. So get your cheese on your chips, melt it on. Anybody else that's a cheesy chip lover, please let me know in the comments. So, okay, now I've given you the national day of what it is. It's also National Lookalike Day as well. So if you have ever been mistaken for anybody, who have you been mistaken for? And who has anybody ever stopped you in the street and thought, you look like that person? Once I had, get ready for this, I had Janice Battersby. Yeah, somebody once stopped me and thought it was Janice Battersby from Coronation Street. But I've also had Sharon out of EastEnders. Bit random, isn't it? Mind you, EastEnders versus Coronation Street. How funny. Right, I am going to move on with the show now, and I'm going to bring on today's guest, who is the fabulous Shelley Shulman. Now, Shelley, I know of Shelley. Again, I haven't met with Shelley before, but I've had a little look at Shelley, and I have been following her a little bit because I know she had some branding photography done with the fabulous Amanda, who I have worked with, and we both have a passion, I think, a little bit for pink because we both went to similar locations. So Shelley, for me, is the person that I would like to describe as all sweetness and strategy. Shelley Shulman.
I love that. All sweetness. I don't know if the family would agree, all sweetness.
Well, we might need to introduce that a little bit more, Shelley, because we'll have to let people know what you do. But when I realised sort of the links, because people could say that we've got a little bit of competition, but I would not say that because I would, I'm all about collaboration. And I started to put some of your stuff this morning. I was like, I need to have a chat with Shelley. We need to do something. This is really cool. Because I trained as a patissiere in France. Wow. So we've got all these links. So there must be something. There must be something between sweetness and strategy and why it works.
I love that.
Shelley, tell us what you do. Let everybody know what you do.
So, I'm Shelley Shulman. Originally, by trade, technically I still am, a cake maker. And I've had a cake business for 15 years now, but in the last 3 years, I became a business coach, and specifically originally working with cake makers to help them grow their cake businesses. But now I work with female entrepreneurs in general and just help them put a transformational strategy in place, help them get the freedom and the lifestyle and the business that they desire.
And it's because you've done it. It's because you've done it, isn't it? And I think once you've walked the path, And once you do, I mean, where it comes from for me is I just want to share that. I want to share that strategy because it is a way, and it is like I think there's I think I remember seeing it behind Lisa Johnson once. There's a poster, what would Lisa do? And it is literally
I thought of that poster.
Oh, did you? Oh my God, what's the chances of that? What's the chances? Well, I saw that and it really resonated with me because you find someone that you do resonate with. You find, and you're like, what did you do? And if those people are out there going, look, this is the path, this is what I did, I went down some of these wrong roads, however I can tell you, oh, don't go down that road because actually it's a waste of time.
We can just give you that way.
Yeah, we can give you that way, but a way that suits you and a way that works for you. So it is, I have a saying as well that the secret is in the strategy because it 100% is. And so I do get where you're coming from. But I mean, you didn't just have a cake business. You did pretty well and you were pretty awesome.
Yeah, my first celebrity cake was for Take That. I got to attend the event and everything, and they sent me a free PlayStation, which I'm totally gonna. I've still got the PlayStation. It was the launch of their SingStar game.
That makes sense.
Which was so cool because as you do, I don't play the PlayStation, but I still have the PlayStation.
Yes, thank you.
This is my gift from Take That. And I've made cakes for events that Her Majesty the Queen has been attending and stuff. So. Yeah, it is a pretty epic business. But it was really funny because I was listening to what Dipti was saying about grief. And in the last year, obviously, Corona hasn't been great for the cake business. And it was only last month that I took the decision to get rid of the bricks and mortar cake studio and bring it back home. Yeah, because it was no longer serving my business in the way that I wanted it to. And it was really interesting what Dipti was saying about grief because it was one of those things that we go through because even though it's no longer serving you, you're still feeling that sense of loss. Grief resonate, with the loss of somebody. It can be, that even though it was my choice, but you still go through all those feelings.
Yeah, but although it's by choice, you built that. That would have been your baby at some point. That would have been your sole purpose. You worked hard. There will have been long hours. Long days, finance. Things that you give up, in order to get to that. So I can really, really understand that. But I was reading, sometimes the most important part of strategy within business is knowing, when I say know when to quit something, the word quit has quite a negative connotation to it. However, you knew that was the right time for that. So that's a really positive move. It's time to move on. It's not quitting, it's moving on.
What's no longer working. And it's like you said, there's that phrase that if it's not broke, don't fix it. But sometimes we have to look at those things because we just get caught on like that hamster wheel. We just keep going on the same thing every day. And it takes something, like this global pandemic to go, actually, I don't want the cake studio anymore. I don't want to have to go and sit there from 9 to 5. Just in case somebody happens to want to pop in and order a cake. I can take all of that online. I've still had just as many inquiries online as I have offline. And so am I, paying out God knows how much in rent a month for what is effectively a status symbol rather than something that practically serves me.
But look at the trend as well, though, to be perfectly honest with you, because how many businesses are online now? It's very unfortunate in some aspects, but the high street, that kind of in-person shop front, some of them, yes, they're still working, but this is a personal view of mine, and I am not an economic guru or anything, but the global pandemic has been blamed for a lot of the big companies closing down. I don't know if I can mention them or not, but the likes of Debenhams, the likes of John Lewis and stuff like that. That was going to happen anyway because of, do you know, that is not the global pandemic. That's the way the trends are going. And, they are, there's a lot more online happening.
And they're not moving forward as well. It's like my daughter works for Primark. But it fascinates me. Like, we saw the queues on Monday. Like, she said, I feel like I'm going into work preparing for war.
Yeah.
Well, but because that's online, so you can't buy anything online from Primark.
It's mad. My partner runs quite a heavy part of the maintenance contract, facilities management contract for Primark. And he had some of his engineers ringing him saying they've been out there since like 7 o'clock the night before.
Yeah.
But they're, in a sense, are they being savvy because that's how they run it? It's most cost effective for them, so that's why they haven't gone online. So it's what suits you, it's what serves you, is here. And I think
it's having that strategy behind it to go, is this actually going to work for me? Because I think it's really easy to go and look at what somebody else is doing and try and replicate it without knowing the ins and outs and the backgrounds, you know, and all the foundations. They just see kind of like the building above the ground. They don't see the foundations that went in, you know, to things like an epic launch or, you know, a really, really big product sale. They don't see all of that strategy that goes in behind it. And it's that strategy that is key in getting those results.
Absolutely. And it has to be. You touched, I just want to go back to a point that you just said, something that is massive for me, that is one of my things that I really promote is USP, but that's your unique superpower, because that becomes your unique selling point. So your strategy has to be bespoke to you. It has to be for you, because like you just said, you can look at everybody else, but I mean, I'm showing my age a bit here because I'm just trying to think of somebody that, like, Linford Christie's strategy ain't going to work for me. Do you know? Because we're complete opposites. That guy can run, I can't run.
The end destination might be the same, but the routes that you have to take as individuals may be different. You know, there is no one size fits all. I always say, like, a business, you need mindset and strategy, because otherwise it's a bit like getting into a car with no engine. You need both. Hi, Parole. Morning, lovely.
I am myself. What would Shelley do? I love that. I absolutely love that. So, I mean, Shelley, so tell us a bit more about sort of, you know, who you help, who you tend to work with. You've got some pretty amazing trust tags on your website as well. I was having a little look and I was like, wow, this is who I'm with today.
Do you know what? It's been crazy the last 3 years when I actually broke out into coaching and being able to help people. And like you say, just share that knowledge, because those 15 years weren't easy. You know, I made a lot of mistakes, a lot of expensive mistakes. You know, branded pens, anyone? You know, why does a cake make any branded pens? Seriously.
That's something I do, branded pens. So we're like already, I'm like, but don't worry. But some people do, some people don't.
Because my brother-in-law had them. My brother-in-law was running a really, really successful recruitment business, and he was sending out branded pens. And you go, well, if he has branded pens and he's successful, then clearly I need branded pens.
You could have had branded palette knives, couldn't you?
Exactly. And that's what I mean about that strategy. It doesn't work for everybody else. And so being able then to say to people, this doesn't work. You don't need to do this. You don't need to spend that money doing, you know, those silly things that I did, because I can actually help you put that strategy, you know, so that you don't make those silly mistakes. You don't waste your time. It's not even just wasting the money. It's the time and the effort. And I want people, like, it seems weird because obviously we're in lockdown, but I've had more freedom over the last 12 months than I have, you know, in like the 6 years before branded palette knives, I'm thinking. Before all of that, I've had more freedom, and I want to really, really, people to experience the same thing.
Yeah,
and it's nothing to do.
And that's what it is about, because I mean, when we're talking about strategy for individuals, it is about creating the life that serves you, isn't it? It's about what you want. For argument's sake, I sometimes talk about my words just aren't coming out. I mean, come to be inspired just to see my gaffes, to be honest with you. Get your ticket for that, just to see how many times I don't say the right word. I often talk about like a sassy, happy, rich life. Now, when I say sassy, happy, rich life, I don't always mean rich as in financially rich, because you do need to create the life that does serve you. There's certain things that I really want out of life that, you know, aren't.
Exactly.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm here for the money, so my money mindset, I'm welcoming it. But in the same sense, I'm in pursuit of a life that serves me, my family, what I want to do, what fulfills me.
And that's the thing, isn't it? It's that individual. So it's really easy to aspire to be these people. And I think that's where people I struggled when I first started. When I first started writing goals, the goals that I had, I didn't connect with. They weren't integral to me, because I was writing down goals that, because I was like, well, clearly I need to do a 10K month in the first year of my, in the next month, because that's what other people. No, that wasn't right for me in my business. I needed a pair of Louboutins because that's what everybody else's goal were. Yeah, they're bloody beautiful, but seriously, I can't walk in the picture thing.
No, neither can I, and they come too small. They're not dangerous.
So that's one of the things, I would always say to people, ask yourself three times, why do I want this goal? Why do I want this goal? Why? Just keep saying to yourself, but why? But why? Like like you get those kids, those petulant kids that just keep going, but why?
But why?
Why?
But why?
Because you really dig down deep as to why you actually want that. And sometimes it's not the thing that you actually want. When you dig down deeper, then you start finding, okay, well, that's why I want it. So actually that's what I need to be working for, not this, this thing up here.
It's really strange that you say that about goals, because there was a goal that I had with regarding to be inspired and to do it. And it's still there as the reason why I wanted to do it. But it's actually really evolved as my journey has gone on with inspired as to why I did it. And even more so now, and in the last week as well, as to why it really was. So sometimes, we all talk about our why. What is your why? But it's very hard to pinpoint that, and it takes some unpicking, and strategy to unpicking that as well. Yeah.
Why do you want that mulberry bag? Is it because somebody else has got a mulberry bag? It's like, well, I want a mulberry bag because that's what Shelley had on her goals list. Well, just because Shelley's got it, I don't expect anybody who works with me to come to me with exactly the same goals.
No.
As I've got. I want them to dig really, really down deep about why they want. It took me ages. I had a new car on my goals list for ages, but I didn't get it because I just didn't. The only time I actually got a new car was because somebody crashed into mine and wrote it off, and it just became a necessity rather than an actual goal. But I had it on there, but I'm just like, that doesn't resonate with me. So I never did the actual work to get the car.
Out of interest, what was one of your goals that was probably really personal to you that may not have been for somebody else? Just one that you may have one that you've ticked off, or one that you're still working towards.
One of mine was I wanted a wedding cake in OK magazine.
Yes,
and I did it.
Yes,
and I did that. But that was always one of the ones, like even when I first started Cake Company, when I was at home, I just wanted a wedding cake in OK magazine.
Whose was it?
Olivia Buckland's, Olivia Bowen, Olivia and Alex from Love Island. I did the first ever Love Island wedding.
Oh my God, I know somebody that went to that wedding. And
Alex is better looking in real life.
And guess what? He's a brummie. He's a brummie as well. Alex is a brummie.
In real life. Like, I had to go and meet them, and I was just like, he came in and was like, hi, cake maker. And I was just like, hey.
So you featured heavily in their TV thing, because I know somebody that worked on that as well. And when they were talking about the cake, I remember Olivia telling Alex certain things about the cake. And I am so impressed by that. I love that.
And it was crazy. It was the one thing that I always wanted, because I think I just wanted that status. I think you just have it in your head that you're successful when you've done a cake that's featured in OK magazine. For me, that was a sign of success for me. Which is crazy.
It's a sign of success, isn't it? But it's a sign of you are there.
Level.
Yeah. That I totally and utterly get that. I really, really do.
So I did that, and I did that quite quickly, because I just kind of reached out to all the celebrities. I was like, "Oh, you just got your goals. Hi, have my name." Yeah. And they were great. And I know a lot of people say, you shouldn't work for free and you shouldn't do exposure and all of this. However, they did offer to pay for the cake. I will say that. But the mad thing was, I was driving home, and my daughter phoned and she goes, Mum, have you seen Instagram? I was like, well, no, I'm in the car driving. I'd already phoned them and gone, yeah, it's gone fine. They're having the cake, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, no, Instagram has blown up. I was like, what are you talking about? And she goes, Olivia has just put a picture up of her tasting your cakes and gone, just finished the cake concert. And like, she tagged my company in it. And my daughter said she had got like 100 messages from her friends at school going, oh my God, it's not making a cake.
Yeah, no, listen, I 100% get that. I really do. And the one thing I will say, I mean, this isn't about Olivia, but she does seem to have integrity in that sense. Whoever she's worked with, she really does give them some kudos.
She mentioned me so many times, tagging me in posts, sharing stuff. Every time we'd had a meeting, she tagged me in all of that. And so when she got the okay deal, you know, we had conversations about that. And I think that, you know, if you're going to do something like that, go in knowing what you want to achieve, and just make sure that you get it, because having that okay, like, you know, having that okay logo on my website elevates my brand.
Trust tag, 100%. Joe Swan talks about that. Joe Swan, I mean, just to mention Joe Swan as well, she has got a great PR piece at the end of Be Inspired on the second day, where she's going to actually, I don't want to give too much away, but she's got a strategy that she's going to put in place with PR that hopefully will really kind of help a lot of other businesses out there. PR is something that I've just started to look at. I've gone all hazy, and I don't think it's my halo. I think it's the sun on the screen, so I apologise for that if that's happening. So PR is huge, and those trust tags come with PR. So if you can reach out to anybody as well, you know, within your business, we talk about doing things for free. I've done a couple of things for free in the past. However, they gave me serious trust tags in the sense of, well, you know, I've been trusted enough to work with these people, because that's what it is. You've been trusted to work with these people, and then you will find, you know, your name just get out there within those circles then as well. So you do have to balance those sometimes those free jobs, but again, that's part of your strategy. You ask yourself the questions.
It's part of your strategy. It's not just, this isn't an influencer getting in contact with you saying, can I have a free cake? Can I have a free session? Can I have a free product? Because that doesn't work. No. That doesn't work. That's just them asking for a freebie. What works is, you know, for me, I went, right, I want a wedding cake in OK magazine. How am I going to get, well, I'm going to have to do a celebrity wedding. You know, that's how it's going to work. So I took that time. Like, every time a celebrity mentioned that they'd got engaged, I found, you know, their agents. I found all the addresses that I needed to do.
And it's not that hard, is it?
And I had a pack. Yeah, it's not that hard. It took time, you know, it did time to reach out. But, you know, I did it. I was supposed to be doing another celebrity wedding last year, but pandemic cancelled that one.
Coming back?
No, they've cancelled it now.
Cancelled the wedding altogether? Are they not friends anymore?
I just cancelled the wedding. You know, it's a bit annoying, but you can't like go, well, I'm moving forward anyway, so it's not really.
Well, do you know what? I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. So
I never used to be. Never used to be. Like, every time my father-in-law said that, I was like, seriously, I actually want to punch you in the face. Like,
it really does, though. You know, fate has a very, very funny way of throwing a hand in there. It's just whether you choose to receive it or not. And that may sound a bit woo, but it's definitely been my life.
Definitely. I think I've become more woo over the last year. And I've become more accepting of things. And I just, like you say, everything happens for a reason. And you just go, okay, so yes, that opportunity closed. So yes, I got rid of my cake studio, but I now know that I've got rid of that to make room for other great opportunities to come in. And I know that's a very woo strategy.
No, but it is a strategy, because you do have to make the room 100%.
Because you can't keep doing everything all of the time. And everything that I approach, you know, I do plan for the future a lot. You know, I everything I'm doing is constantly, I'm kind of like working today for like next month or whatever.
Yeah, there has to be a plan.
A constant strategy in place. So the work that I'm doing today is building towards that bigger picture.
I get it. And then when, like, you might say you're busy and like, oh, you know, I'm really busy at the moment, but that's because you're working on stuff, like you say, that's 3-4 months or maybe even next year down the line. But if you don't have that plan, if you don't have that forward thinking, then how are you ever going to reach your destination if you don't know where the hell you're going?
Getting that groundwork. So for me, like, I've been coaching cake makers for 3 years. So I've had a shed load of content that I've created, like over the years that I've given them. I've done it as freebies. They've had stuff, and last week I thought, do you know what? I'm going to try something. I bundled everything that I've ever done into a package and sold it for £10. And I just put it out in my free group, and I made £5,000 in 7 days.
Wow!
But was there a strategy to me putting that out? No, that was just the fact that actually I'd bought a bundle from another coach for £10 because I was like, oh, I got caught by the Facebook ad.
Oh, don't. I have done that. And then done nothing with it.
But I saw that thing and I was like, £10, that's like a lot of content for £10. And I just suddenly thought, I've got a lot of content. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to try it. But it only worked in the way that it has because I'd done the strategy beforehand. I'd done the groundwork. I'd built that audience. I'd engaged with that audience that, they were engaging with me. So that's how I was able to do it, by having that groundwork. You've got a right halo going on here.
I don't know what's going on. And I'm trying to figure it out. I'm going to have to sit with this, I think, on the top of the screen, because the sun is coming down from the Velux. And I'm literally I'm disappearing. I don't know if it's like fairy godmothers go up in a puff of pink smoke, don't they? Maybe that's what it is, because it's getting ready to send me to be inspired. Shelley,
going on.
It's been. I'm so glad I got to talk to you, because when I did,
lovely to virtually meet you.
Oh yeah, well, when I worked with Amanda, we spoke about you because we did go and look at what's the cake shop in London? Is it Porsche?
Portion.
Yeah, because I was going to do some branding shoots there. As it happened, we didn't get there in the end. But we spoke about you being there and everything. I was like,
I had something there.
Yeah. So it's been on my to-do list to get to know you. And now, I mean, Dani always says it, doesn't she? Once you meet, we're friends now. So that happens online. I seem to have an abundance of friends now that some of them I've never met in real life, and yet I speak to them more than I do some of my family recently.
I chat more with my online friends than I do with the people that I know in real life.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. And I sent a message to somebody the other day. I can't remember who it was. I know who it was. It was somebody I work very, very closely with. Yeah. And we got chatting, and we was having just a normal WhatsApp conversation. And I said to her, you do realise, I said, this has gone a bit retro. You're like my old-fashioned pen pal. I said, I reckon in 35 years, Anton Deck are going to walk on and present my virtual pen pal that I've never actually met in real life, but we've got this whole relationship. And she said, and then she went, yeah, that's what it made me think of. I thought you'll be brought on, and it'll be like, we've been talking so long.
It's almost like a virtual pen pal.
It is. And she went, it was quite funny, because then she went, well, I wonder what Anton Deck will be doing by that time. I went, they'll be my warm-up men.
I like it. I
was like, that's setting a bit of a goal. And then I swallowed my head and was like, no. We'll see. Shelley, it's been great, like we said, to actually meet you. Where can everybody find you?
So they can find me over on Instagram. I do a lot over on Instagram, more on Facebook, if I'm honest. Shelley Shulman Strategy is where you can find me. So come and give me a follow. You'll see all the stupid things that I do with garden gnomes. I keep leaving them in my
garden gnomes. Oh, I need to know more about that.
I'm doing a thing where I keep dropping garden gnomes in my mother-in-law's garden, but she has no idea that it's me.
I love that. I love a prank. I absolutely love a prank. So long as it doesn't hurt anybody, then I do love a bit of a...
We legit have garden gnomes in the car on standby, so if we drive past and they're not there, we can drop another garden gnome in. So if you like things like that, that's the kind of thing you'll find on my Instagram, because that's the kind of something that I do. She's convinced it's the neighbour as well. This is what's funnier. The neighbour is getting the blame. She has no idea that it's us.
I love that. Once with some family, what we did once, we went through a phase of nicking things from people from each other's houses. So we nicked their hanging baskets once and put them outside our house, and they thought that was really funny. And then the best one we ever did was we nicked their TV remote control. Oh, havoc! There was havoc.
Well, see, that's harsh. That's up there with stealing the toilet seat, isn't it? It's stealing the TV remote.
It is. That was a harsh one, to be fair, but no, I love a good prank. Right, I am going to wind this up because I do just want to give people a bit of a point out towards being inspired and let them know what else is coming up. But Shelley, thank you. It's been an absolute joy. Go and give Shelley a follow. Go and see her and see what she gets up to with her garden gnomes. I'm hoping there'll be a pink one soon. Show me a pink gnome and tag me in it.
The first one was a pink gnome.
See, pink has to show up. Pink has to show up. Thanks, Shelley.
See you soon.
See you soon. Bye. Oh, guys, I'm really sorry about this kind of sunshade situation that I'm having to put. Hold on. There we go. I'm having to put some up to shield the camera because this halo that's going on here is just, the sun is shining. My dad would say the sun shines on the righteous. So hopefully that's a good thing that the sun is shining. For everybody out there, I know that you are all aware that Be Inspired is coming up. As Dipti said, Dani has poured her heart and soul into this. She's given us well over a year of her life with this fabulous show. I've learned absolutely loads. She has brought together some really awesome speakers. There's speakers that have worked with her, but then there's also some of Dani's mentors that will be talking as well. There's the PR slot with Joe Swan at the end of day 2. There is an absolute, it is a buffet. It is a buffet that will just give you so much. I am a Be Inspired. If there was an advert for Be Inspired, I do believe it would be me, because I went, I saw, I made a wish, and it's happening for me now, and I learned so much, and it really did inspire me to take action and to actually really move my business forward. Don't get me wrong, there's been a lot of work from me in there as well, but going to Be Inspired really did change me. It gave me the kick up the ass that I really needed to see that it was possible. To be honest with you, it was possible for me to do all these things. A girl with no qualifications, a curvy girl that was down on herself in some aspects, and now look what's happening. This last year has been absolutely awesome. Go get a Be Inspired ticket for the money that you will pay for it. All of the most of the Be Inspired cohort, some of them have offers on if you buy their ticket through their links. I still have an offer on with my one. I will put my link in here. I have had a couple of offers on, but most of those have gone. So the one that I am going to put on for anybody that buys a ticket from today will go into a draw for a spot on my next FabUSAS course. Well, FabUSAS is FabUSAS, and FabUSAS is the course that I launched last year, and it went really, really well. There's a couple of people on here this morning that were on that course, and it will be relaunching again in June. And for anybody that buys a Be Inspired ticket today, you will go in a draw to win a spot on that course. That course is worth around about £300, well, about £400, but I do have some great bonuses coming on that course as well. So if you buy your Be Inspired ticket today, come on, join the fun bus, £89 plus VAT. If you do buy it today, you will go in a draw for me if you buy it via my link. Guys, I've had an awesome time today. I'm really sorry about this sunshade situation. If you have enjoyed the show, give Dani a like and a hashtag replay if you watch it in replay, because then that gets this show further out there. If you do want to come and check out all of my pink sass, you will find me at Creative Sass across all socials. CREATIV, no E on the end of creative. So Creative Sass, so CREAT. I'm losing it now with this sunshade. CREATIVSAS. Thank you for watching, and we'll probably see you tomorrow. But remember, there's no Be Inspired on Thursday, Friday. You've got to get a ticket to get in. If your name ain't down, you're not coming in. See you later, and have an absolutely awesome day. Bye-bye.